Hello. Ed Nog. Gotta finish out the new year with some eggnog, you know what I mean? So this is effectively my ranking for all the movies I saw in 2020. My last video for last year's ranking was 39 minutes long. I don't think this one's going to be that long because I only got 16 films to look at, to talk about. Two of which are not on physical media. I don't think one of them ever will be, but So let's go ahead and get into it. Number 16, bottom of the bunch, worst of the year, is The Turning. Now, I was thinking about this, and I wanted to say that this movie was fine until the ending happened. But even then, it's not even an ending. But even then, it wasn't fine because there's twists and turns and stuff happens. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And the ending makes no sense where she's trying to save these kids, and then they act like there's nothing going on, and then it's all a dream or it's in her head or something, and then she wakes up in the same institution with her mom, but she sees her mom's face. We don't see it, and she screams, and then the movie ends. It makes no sense. There's also an alternate ending that also doesn't make any sense. It just makes no sense. That's why it's at the bottom. This one pains me because I'm such a big fan of this franchise, but number 15 is The Grudge. I absolutely love the first two Grudge films. I think they're done perfectly. Not perfectly, but done very good. Very well. Third film has... it lacks quite a bit. And this one goes back to the old style of non-linear storytelling, but where the first films did it fine, did it great. This one, it's jarring, and they didn't know how to do it. Because we see, for instance, there's one timeline where someone is dead, and they're investigating the dead body, but then we flash back to these people, and we're going to find out what happened. But we already know what happened because we already saw the police are investigating it. They already know they're going to die, so it doesn't make any sense. It's confused, confuffled, it's just, a mess. Number 14, and it pains me to put this so low because I had some expectation for this, but it's The New Mutants. This was a bit of a letdown. I didn't have much going into this, but after the delays and everything, it was fine. It just doesn't pass the rest of these. And it sucks for a superhero film to be so low on the list, But I thought the acting was fine. Performances are great. But it didn't do anything for me, But it's better than the other two in my list. Number 13 is Becky. And I thought this film was actually pretty good. But what weighs it down for me is that for some reason, this girl, she's protecting herself. She's protecting her what's supposed to be future stepmom. After her dad dies, she goes nuts and she starts killing these people to protect herself. And the police frame it as negative. They're like, they see it as a negative. Like, oh, she did this. What else could she do? She was defending herself. It's like Home Alone on acid. I don't see it as negative at all. She killed bad people. And killing bad people is fine. In my book, at least in movies, not in real life. I'm just saying. Number 12 is Birds of Prey. Okay, let me get on this. This is not a Birds of Prey movie. It's a Harley Quinn movie disguised as Birds of Prey. And I'll say that right now. I was actually interested in seeing what they would do with an actual Birds of Prey movie, but then I found out Harley Quinn was getting me in it. And then I started to switch things around, and then the trailer came out. And then everything was from Harley's point of view, and I'm like, this isn't Birds of Prey, this is Harley Quinn the movie and Birds of Prey. It was fine. I like it better than the other four on this list. It's on the bottom, but it doesn't do anything for me. It's fun. Ewan McGregor is great, but it just doesn't work as a Birds of Prey film. You want to do a Harley Quinn solo film, that's fine, but don't shove in a good superhero team and ruin it just so you can have your Harley Quinn movie. Number 8 is Fantasy Island. And this film, I thought was fine. But the ending, there's a couple of twists. One, when they reveal that they're all connected to this fire that killed someone. I'm like, okay, that's decent. But then they reveal that Lucy Hale's character here is behind this whole thing. And she's been trying to kill these people because they ruined her chance to find true love. That's where she's like, oh, nope. I'm out of here. It makes no sense. You know, she was acting earlier. And it's just like, no. It's like they filmed 2 separate films and then chopped it in half. And one half is where she's a good person, and then the second half is where she's a bad person. They just kind of clipped them together. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Speaking of not making sense, no. Number 10, never mind. Number 10 is The Babysitter Killer Queen. And I enjoyed this film for what it was. But it's on Netflix, so I don't have a physical copy. But I feel like they sort of crapped all over the first one by, like, at the end of the first one, he had the kid, I forget his name, had gone through a journey. And he had, he finally got the courage to kiss the girl that he liked. He dealt with these people. He defended them, But then all of a sudden in this film, no one believes that he did that. People are still picking on him. Which makes no sense because while B was cleaning up a bunch of stuff, she didn't clean up the bodies that were outside. Like the shirtless dude, his body would have been hanging there. Sonia wasn't cleaned up. I don't care what you say. Their bodies would have still been there. She only cleaned up in the house. It makes no sense. Why no one believe him. There's no movement. And they even take away the girlfriend. Why? Because they're introducing a new girl. And not only that, they decide to make his person who should be his girlfriend the villain. And they bring in B for some weird connection. Samara Weaving has a cameo. And for some bizarre connection, and she used to be this new girl babysitter too. And they're going to be the connection that stops this cult. I don't know. The ending kind of threw it away from me, but it's enjoyable. It's fine. Number 9, because I got to put it right in the middle because I don't know what to think about it, is Tenet. I just don't know what to think about this film. It's right in the middle of the ranking because I just don't know what to say about it. It's a very confusing movie. It's enjoyable despite being confusing. I just don't know really how to place it. So in the middle it goes. Number 8 is Scoob. And alright, so they changed the origin up a little bit. They changed some things. There's a little more focus on Brian, the Blue Falcon. There is on the Scooby game, but a lot of people have crapped on this because they say, oh, it's not exactly like Scooby-Doo's supposed to be, so it sucks. And I'm like, hey, have a little open mind here. I thought the movie was fine. It's enjoyable. There's some good comedy. Animation is pretty good. It doesn't feel like a Scooby-Doo movie. There's no big unmasking. Well, there is, but it's played for laughs. Dick Dastardly is actually Simon Cowell, but no, it's not Simon Cowell, it's Dick Dastardly. It's just like, okay, sure, but if it had been Simon Cowell, it would have made sense. I'm not getting this. But, yeah, it's fine. Number 7 is Sonic the Hedgehog. And this was fine, but again, the trailer kind of had me rolling my eyes. It's like, oh, we're doing this again, where we take a character from a video game or from a TV show and we're putting them, oh, he comes to our world and everything is different and it's this fish out of water scenario. How many times are we going to do that with video game or TV animated characters where we just do that all the time? It just makes no sense to me. That Jim Carrey's performance is fantastic, but he doesn't look like Robotnik. And my hopes were up. I haven't seen the trailer. That one shot we see in the trailer is the only time he looks like Robotnik. And it's the mid-credit scene. Also, I was happy when I found out he was going to be Robotnik and not Eggman, because I hate the fact that they changed his name to Eggman in all the current video games and stuff. For them to then have Sonic call him Eggman through the entire climax of the film, all because his robots look like eggs. It just made no sense to me. So now, number 6 is Wonder Woman 1984, and just to keep it short here, I liked it just fine. There were some things in here that kind of threw me for a loop. Like, setting the movie in 1984 kind of undoes what Zack Snyder was doing with Batman v Superman and Justice League, where Batman v Superman, no one knew who she was. She'd been hiding for I don't know how long, and then in Justice League, that scene at the beginning of Justice League where she's thwarting the bank robbery, that's her first big coming out, her first big fight since the World War I. It's supposed to be. So now you set this in 1984 and you ruin that, and everybody's calling her name Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Other than that, Pedro Pascal was a little bit too much. Everything else was fine. It's enjoyable. Top 5 now, and number 5 is Bad Boys for Life. And I thought this was pretty good, despite the fact of not being a lifelong fan of the franchise. I like the first one. Second one is crap, I think. It's just one big commercial for Michael Bay to sell the movie, but it's not the movie. But, yeah, this was actually pretty good. Return to form, I think, for the franchise, and I'd be excited to see where they're going with this. It looks like they're doing some kind of Fast and Furious universe with this, but, you know, the villain reveal is kind of like, but then, he's a good guy now? I don't know. It's very confusing. Number 4. Now, these last 4, I have nothing bad to say. So, number 4 is Invisible Man. This is probably the last theater experience I had. This is a fantastic film. I think Leigh Whannell did a fantastic job with this. I'm looking forward to see what he can do with other horror genre stuff. This and Upgrade have both been fantastic, and I can't recommend this enough. Number 3 is Tremors: Shrieker Island, and I know there are people out there or a show who crap all over this and say it's a big disrespect to the character of Burt Gummer, and it sits all over the franchise. And you know what? No, it doesn't. This is probably the best of the 3. When they started redoing them from 5, 6, and 7, it's probably the best of them. And Travis Welker isn't even in this one. Jamie Kennedy's not in this one, but this is actually probably one of the best. The performances are great. I think it's a great way for Burt Gummer to go out, spoiler alert, and he goes out doing what he loves, killing graboids. What else can you want, you know? It's a great ending. And who knows what they'll do more. But that's the end of Burt Gummer, that's for sure. Next, number 2 is Zombies 2. Yes, I have a Disney Channel original movie on here. Zombies 2 is a follow-up to Zombies, which was number 20 on my top 20 Disney Channel original movies. This one is not as good, but it still has the heart of the first one. The music is still good. The choreography is still good. The characters are still written very well. It gets bogged into the story a little bit, but it's still pretty good. And number 1... what else could it be? Number 1. Even going into this year, I didn't think I was going to have this number 1. But then 2020 happened. And movies got shoved to next year. And so it was like, this has to be number 1. Because there's nothing else that I can say. So, number 1 is Bill and Ted Face the Music. And even knowing me, you would say, oh, that's going to be number 1. But it might not have been had we gotten the year we were supposed to. This is absolutely fantastic film. It's Bill and Ted are back. They still have the same great chemistry. The dollars didn't boggle it down like I thought they would. And the story is still great. Death is back. I am Wild Stallions. Fantastic. So there you have it. My ranking for the year. So what are your thoughts on my ranking? Leave in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. One more thing before I go. I'm planning for tomorrow, hopefully, I'm gonna, for the first time ever, watch all 3 Bill and Ted movies back to back and then do a video just giving my thoughts after watching all 3 back to back. I've only watched the first 2 back to back my entire life, so this will be the first time I watch all 3 back to back. So we'll see how that goes. Till then, though, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.